Welcome to the National Privilege and Poverty Internship for Summer 2017 Info Session. My name is Emma McDonald, and I am the Poverty Initiative's AmeriCorps Vista at the Center for Community Engagement, working with the Privilege and Poverty Academic Cluster. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the National Internship and how you can apply, and then we'll hear from some former national interns to learn more about their experience in the program. Middlebury College has participated in the Shepherd Higher Education Consortium on Poverty since 2005. Schools participating in the consortium seek to integrate rigorous academic study and direct service, enriching the education of undergraduates across disciplines. Through their National Summer Internship Program, the consortium supports students interning at agencies that work with vulnerable populations. These national internships are located throughout the U.S. in both urban and rural settings, with agencies that serve in educational, healthcare, legal, housing, social, and economic capacities for the needs of individuals and communities. Middlebury students participating in the National Internship will intern alongside others from schools in the consortium. Through the opening and closing conferences, which I'll talk about a bit more later, Middlebury's national interns will meet and engage with the 90-plus interns from the other participating schools. After the intern selection process concludes in early February, Middlebury's national interns will gather together in the spring with Privilege and Poverty faculty and staff in order to prepare for their summer internships. The summer internship begins with the opening conference from June 2nd to 3rd at Marymount University in Arlington, Virginia. Then each intern will travel to their internship site. The internship period is June 5th to July 28th. Then interns will come together for the closing conference and symposium from July 29th through 31st at Virginia Military Institute and Washington and Lee University in Virginia. It should be noted that participation in the opening and closing conferences is mandatory. Benefits of the National Internship Program include summer housing, a modest living allowance of $816, plus a $1,500 stipend. In addition, a travel allowance of $500 aims to cover expenses for the opening and closing conferences travel. One important note, you do not need a car in order to participate in the National Internship. Participation in the National Internship Program includes attending spring gatherings on campus to prepare for the internship, attending the opening and closing conferences, writing a final reflection, and sharing internship experiences in a 10-minute presentation at the closing conference and at Middlebury in fall 2017. We encourage you to maintain a journal throughout your internship and to share your experience through an article or essay on the consortium's website. We do require that you write a brief thank you letter to a donor supporting your internship. Returning Middlebury undergraduates, including international students, are eligible to apply to the internship. We especially encourage students who have taken Privilege and Poverty, or Religion INTD 0298, the Gateway course for Privilege and Poverty Academic Cluster, to apply for the National Internship. However, applications from students who have not taken the Gateway course will also be considered. As you begin applying, you can check out internship options on the consortium website, shepherdconsortium.org/internships. The application deadline is January 18th, 2017 at 11:59 p.m. We highly recommend that you get started sooner than later, especially because you need 1 to 2 letters of recommendation accompanying your application. The application process has 2 steps. You can visit go/Mojo and search Poverty to find the National Internship application. Through Mojo, you can fill out an application, upload your unofficial transcripts, resume, and letters of recommendation. Typically, recommenders may prefer to send their letter directly to us, so feel free to have them email Privilege and Poverty Internship Director Tiffany Sargent, tiffany.s@middlebury.edu, with their letter of recommendation. On Mojo, where it asks you to upload a letter of recommendation, you can instead upload a Word document with the names and titles of those sending recommendation letters directly. For the second step, you can visit the Shepherd Consortium website and fill out their application. Both applications will be sent to the Privilege and Poverty team to review. Selected applicants will be interviewed in late January, and lists will be notified by early February. Don't worry, if you forget the 2 steps or don't have the links, you can always visit go/privandpobintern to access all of this information. The Privilege and Poverty National Internship is part of the Privilege and Poverty Academic Cluster, a curricular initiative at Middlebury that brings together faculty, students, and staff interested in studying the causes and effects of economic inequality and even the language with which we talk about the privileged and the poor. The cluster includes a gateway course called Privilege and Poverty, which I mentioned briefly already, as well as 3 electives courses, either the National Internship or its local counterpart, and a capstone experience, plus events throughout the academic year. You can find out more about the cluster on our website, where you can contact Professor James Davis, the Privilege and Poverty Academic Director. His email is jcdavis@middlebury.edu. If you have questions about the National Internship, please feel free to reach out to me, emcdonald@middlebury.edu, or Internship Director Tiffany Sargent, tiffanyS@middlebury.edu. Now we'll hear from a few former interns.
Okay, so one of the projects I worked on while working at Foundation Communities was collecting client success stories. So I talked about clients and their experiences with the financial coaching program. And one of the things that I kept hearing from the clients over and over again was how thankful they were to have had the support of a financial coach, and how it had changed them when they really had done all the hard work themselves. So I really learned through this experience that people just need the support and help and resources, but they do all the heavy work on their own and can really make a difference in their own lives, but they just need that emotional support, and it really helps them.
So I interned with Code Interactive this summer in New York City, and their mission is to provide computer science education and technological innovation to kids who are considered part of low-income communities or underrepresented communities. And I think the thing that I took away most from the internship was how the home lives and the cultures of the individual students came into the classroom. So we were focusing on music, and a lot of the students came from African backgrounds, Dominican backgrounds, backgrounds from Honduras, and so like all of those cultures and music were present in the classroom. And I think that's something that is very connected to what I'm learning here at Middlebury. I'm taking education in the USA with Professor Tara Appleton. Right now we're focusing on bilingual education and multicultural education in American classrooms, and how beneficial it is not only for students, mostly students of color who are perceived to have foreign cultures as compared to American culture, but also how beneficial it is for white students to get to know different languages and different meanings of family, different meanings of culture, and how that's working to help, I guess, kind of establish understanding and social awareness in classrooms across the country.
I worked at Tapestry in Atlanta, Georgia, and while I was in Atlanta, one of the other meaningful parts of the experience was living with the other interns who were a part of the Shepherd Consortium, because we would come home every day and cook dinner together and sit and talk about what we were doing on our various jobs, and there was so much that overlapped between each of us that we could really have really meaningful conversations about what was going on in Atlanta and how that applied to the nation as a whole or our other experiences, and it was just really cool to get to know them.
I really enjoyed the closing conference because you get the opportunity to listen to the students at your school and what they were at Middlebury and what they had done over the summer, and also students from schools involved in the Shepherd Consortium, and you get to hear about what everyone else has done and the communities they were involved in. And it's really cool to hear about places that people had been to in Alabama or like Kentucky that I'd never been to kind of get a sense of like what poverty looks like in those areas. And I could compare it to like what I saw in Austin or what I've seen outside in my other experiences, and really just like kind of get a more holistic view of what poverty looks like around the country.